due so the rent's due at the end of the month. And then we have the Wi-Fi and the chaos and all the internet, live water, sewer, power, trash, the psychics, distributors to pay, distributors fees, cost of materials, brochures, training. No, we don't have any public restrooms. Try the coffee shop on the corner. We don't have anything public here. So run along. Yes. This is Deity Designs. And do you have a delivery for us? You're interested in our services? You're interested? I'm sorry, you just don't look like our typical client. You'd like a divine design. You don't say. Have you ever had a bespoke deity designed for you before? Oh, you have? Let me guess. You had work done over at Gods to Go. Well, we're beyond professional here, so I won't deign to say anything to slight the competition, but I can only imagine what your experience with them was like. And that's why you're here, of course. Of course. Let me guess. You walked out of there with a standard issue, mass-produced deity that sounded like it rose from the pages of, I don't know, Highlights or Scholastic magazine. So innocuous and ineffective and over-idealized. To be expected. Well, we're not in the from the assembly line deity business. That's just pointless and tacky, not to mention sacrilegious. But enough about them and that. How did you find out about us? I'm not asking this for marketing purposes, by the way. A friend referred you? And how do you know Penelope Gonzalez? She's your employer? That seems about right. That fits. Well, she's your employer, and you don't know enough to take off your shoes when you enter a holy sanctuary. Well, now you know, and don't forget that. So let's take care of that little problem. You're in a consecrated, sacred space. Show some respect. I'm going to put you down as a client referral. Let's scratch that. Employer referral. So tell me more about what brought you here today. Sorry, our psychic is working remotely and she's not currently available, so I actually have to ask some questions. I normally don't do this kind of work, so bear with me. I'm a designer, so customer sorts of things aren't really my bag. Everything's just kind of in a state of transition at the moment. Yeah. But not for long. This won't last much longer. At least not according to the stars. So anyway, I'll need to start by asking you a few vetting type questions. As our reputation indicates, we are ultra selective about our clientele. We cannot hand over these designs to just anyone who walks in off the street. We need some kind of guarantee that you would faithfully implement the design, showcase it in an appropriate and not an irreverent or crass manner. You get my meaning? You need to know that. You need to be faithful to the design, dedicated. You really need to bring them to life and nurture them. This is very serious business, deity design. Have you ever read Frankenstein? You saw the movie? Well, I don't know, there's so many versions of that story. Who knows if you really got the message, but let's assume that you did compute the basic principles of creation that it contains. So, rule number 1, rule number 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say the first 100 rules of creation dictate that you never bring something or someone, some god, some goddess into existence if you don't have the means to support your creation, or the intention or the ability to nourish, foster, or commit yourself to its development. Honey, please. That kind of question is going to get you ejected right out that door. Adopting a deity is nothing like rescuing a dog. It's well beyond those responsibilities. First of all, deities do not need rescuing. You get my meaning? I'm not convinced that you're ready for this. But you're lucky that business is pretty slow. You look surprised. Why are you surprised? You think that people are receptive to embracing a new faith or a new deity in the midst of a crisis like this one, of this magnitude? Wrong. In a crisis, people dock their boats in familiar harbors. It's not any port in a storm. It's old ports in a storm. Crisis time is regression time. Haven't you noticed all those folks trying to squeeze themselves back into the womb by watching reruns of Full House or Highway to Heaven. Maybe the 700 Club. Yeah, no. This is thumb-sucking security blanket sitting in stiff wooden pews of the Catholic, Methodist, Lutheran church's time. Or maybe on folding chairs at the YMCA, letting snakes bite you so that God can prove his power, or walking over coals while you're speaking in tongues. That's what time it is. You went to a remote revival service. I love how they call it revival. It's more like nap time. Go back to sleep time. Look, business is bad. Abysmally bad. I don't know why I'm being honest with you. Maybe because I've been alone in here for so long. Maybe because it's been 6 bloody months since I created a new deity. I don't know. Maybe it's because you seem so earnest, dopey, and a little desperate, but genuine. Whatever it is, you're probably going to get approved. I'll let you in on a secret. A lot of deities are desperate to get out of lockdown, just like we are. But for when things get back to their proper orbit, and they will, we have to maintain the integrity of this process. You get it? So what I'm trying to say is, I still have to ask you the worthiness questions. Don't look so terrified. It's not what you think. It's not at all what you're used to. I'm not going to search your soul to determine your level of purity. Please. No deity cares about your sexual history or your petty thought misdemeanors. No. I probably went a different level. A little more deeply than that. So are you feeling brave? You are, but you are not feeling brave, but you're ready anyway. You are honest. Maybe too much so. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do any deep breathing, cleansing breaths or burn any sage or oregano. That's old harbor stuff. Old harbor. No, I just need you to mentally prepare. I just want you to, let me make sure I get this right. Just a quick exercise to get you thinking about how irrelevant or how unobjective your thoughts about your current set of deities are. So I just want you to take your forefingers and just put them right in front of your eyes like that. Yeah. So, see that? That's how you currently see all the deities in your life right now. You don't see them. That's the point. because they're too familiar, they're too close. You can't be objective. You can't fully evaluate them. Yeah, you got that. Keep them there. All right. Now I want you to just take those fingers and extend them out slowly from your eyes, just a little. Yeah, right. You can see them a little bit more clearly now because they're not so close to your face. Yeah. Okay. You get it, right? So then I just want you to extend those arms. Just extend them outwards, right? Beyond your peripheral vision. Out there where you can't see them. You can't see them because they're beyond your peripheral vision. But somehow you know they're there, right? You sense them. Not with your five senses. Something else. I just need you to think about if maybe that's what brought you here today to Deity Designs. Maybe some kind of sense that your true match, your perfect fit deity, to have this feeling like your perfect fit deity is out there. They, he, she, it exist, but you can't quite see them or sense them with your five senses. Still, you know. You just know that they're real. You're quicker than I thought. Yeah. You just might surprise me. So before I start with the worthiness questions, just want you to think about bring all of those deities into your awareness. Every deity you've had an encounter with since the womb, maybe before the womb even. Yeah. Some of them are pretty silly. Just become aware of them. That's going to be helpful as we go through these questions. And then, so in your childhood, during childhood, everyone's trying to foist their chosen deity on you. So in childhood, you were probably exposed to so many different deities, weren't you? And then there are the teenage years. That's when the searching, the seeking starts. So just think about all the deities you tried to make contact with or get to know during that period. And then you were in college. And you're probably experimenting with drugs like marijuana and LSD or ecstasy, or who knows, maybe you did DMT or mescaline, ayahuasca. But regardless, undoubtedly, you encountered some other deities at that point, and they probably were from seemingly exotic other cultures. So they resonated with you because you discovered them as an adult. Maybe you even converted to a different faith. As a young adult. And then you had that zealotry of the new convert. We don't need to talk about that. I just need you to just pull all that into your awareness. And at some point, you became disenchanted, bored, disappointed, something. You gave up. Clearly, because you're here. And why would you need a designer deity if those other generic, for the masses, deities had worked for you? All right. Okay. So just a few, like I said, worthiness questions. Three simple questions. So I need you to think carefully before you answer. Okay? Actually, I want you to feel carefully before you answer. Okay, so the first question that's going to unlock gate number 1. You ready? Do you ever feel like the deities that are currently on the menu for you are choose or say yes if any of these words, any of them apply. So obsolete, dead, cold, overplayed, cheesy, outdated, unavailable, more interested in other people than in you, unjust, unfair, fickle, capricious, hard to get a hold of when you need them, puritanical, racist, judgy, a bit of a control freak, bloodthirsty. Just if any of those words resonate with you, then you indicate yes. That question was not intended to trigger you. It doesn't typically, as far as I know. Look, but I'm gonna just I'm gonna read that as a yes. That's one of those words resonated with you. I'm just a designer. I'm not equipped to handle that. So you just let me know when you're ready to go on. No, I don't need to know which of those adjectives. It's going to be between you and your new deity if you get one, if you qualify. All right, so let's see. Next layer of entry. Do you ever look longingly or enviously on the gods, the deities, the goddesses of fictional worlds and characters, say like in films or books, comic books even? Sure, it can be science fiction or fantasy. Good answer. That's the one we're looking for. Do you ever daydream about other possible personalities, characteristics, manifestations, demands of some imaginary deity? Do you ever brainstorm ways that the current, past their prime deities could be improved? Like, say, do you ever fill out mental feedback or how's my driving forms for Yahweh, Allah, Jehovah, Brahma, the source energy, the great spirit, whatever? You've completed feedback forms mentally on all of the deities. I just listed them, so are you sure about that? That would be very time consuming, draining, not to mention risky if you actually did that. But if you did, you were way more iconoclastic than I had you pegged as. I'm going to ask you to choose one of those deities. Yeah. And tell me more about what you would improve about that deity. And don't choose Allah or God, because they are so overplayed and get way more press than they deserve. Probably Marduk. I've never looked at Odin in that light before. Props. I never really nailed down what it was about that aspect of Odin that just didn't sit right with me. You nailed it. So that leaves one final qualifier. So we can see if you've got what it takes to take home a deity. Okay, this is it. Do you have at least 20 hours a week to devote to devotion, worship, praise, and proselytizing for a new deity? That may mean that you have to cancel some commitments, be available on evenings and weekends, improve your time management skills, and exercise some willpower. That's to be expected. Essentially, can you make room in your life for a personalized deity? Had a bad experience with fundamentalists. I see. You'd be surprised how many come to us too damaged to receive what they've been searching for in all the wrong places their entire lives. Damn shame. I suspected you might have some trouble with this. Look, I don't mind you as much as I thought I would. I'm willing to work with you on this. So I'm going to put you down as worthy, but provisional, conditioned upon some discipleship. Okay. How's that sound? You seem comfortable with that. All right. You're through the gates. So let's find out who your perfect fit deity is. I apologize in advance if this seems a little Freudian. It's far from Freudian, but so if it starts to feel that way, remember that it's just a feeling. We're not here to heal any deep psychological wounds. Oh no, not here, and definitely not me. That's going to be your deity's job. If that's what the two of you, or three or more of you, work out. So just answer honestly and feel carefully before answering, okay? Right. Do you like your gods, your deities, more Mr. Rogers, Bob Rossi, or more Hillary Clinton, The Rock, maybe / Cruella de Vil? What would you say that your ideal deities are? Would you say they are smiters who punish and get revenge on all of your enemies? Or are they more like fairy godmothers who dry your tears when you're feeling down and grant you everything that's on your wish list. And remember, there's no right answer. Just whatever resonates with you. Do you struggle more with regrets about past mistakes or fears about the future? No, you can't choose both. So, which one weighs you down more? Okay. Do you feel you'd be better at exalting or emulating a deity? Okay. Don't think about it too much. Just go with your gut instinct. Do you have more respect for deities who are from poor, disadvantaged backgrounds and then overcome persecution and ridicule? Or ones who are raised in great privilege, like say in Beverly Hills, and then renounce all of that? Surprising. Okay. Would you have an easier time believing sacred scriptures composed by a loner bookworm like Eckhart Tolle, or inspirational teachings and scriptures passed down from a narcissistic extrovert like Tony Robbins or Russell Brand? Remember, there isn't a right or wrong answer in this part, just what jives with you. Do you prefer practical advice based on logic, science, and hard facts, or poetic, inspiring pep talks that make you feel more uplifted and optimistic, and more accepting of yourself? You know, like Insta-meme type stuff. Didn't expect that. For the next part, I'm going to say a few phrases, and I need you to choose whichever one seems to fit. Okay. Thou shalt not, or if I were you, or follow your gut, because no one knows you like you know yourself. Okay. All things happen for a reason. We create our own destiny, or or we create our own destiny, or life is random chaos and a piece of shit. Okay. What? In your view, were our ancient ancestors like, say, cave people, ancient Egyptians, ancient Romans, were they wiser and more enlightened, or more superstitious and ignorant than we are today. You have to choose. And just a global assessment. Technology will solve all of humanity's problems, or technology has caused more problems than we've ever known as a species, and we should just hit the reset button. After we die a physical death, we have some other kind of experience in our current consciousness, or humans just decompose and become fertilizer. Another one about the afterlife. You can take it with you. So you should make preparations like building some kind of spiritual transport device for you and your stuff. Or you will leave this life with nothing, but maybe some wisdom. Similar to that. So do you believe that the rich have some kind of unfair advantage in the afterlife, or is there a role reversal and they have the hardest time proving that they deserve anything good in the afterlife? The afterlife is fill in the blank, one of these. An eternal banquet, an eternal orgy, eternal praise and worship session, or something else. You can fill in that blank with whatever comes to mind. Okay. Interesting. The purpose of this life is to choose one of these. Enjoy it. Like finding happiness and like learn some hard, valuable lessons, to do some things to escape suffering in the next life, and try to level up at some point. Okay. You want to think about that some more? Be my guest. You sure? That's your final response? True or false? This world that we experience is a computer simulation. Okay. The scenario question. You and your deity are out for a fun adventure. Maybe not fun, just an adventure. Is your deity walking in front of you, clearing a safe path for you? Or is your deity walking beside you, like you're telling jokes, like, hey, remember that one time? You know, and are you kind of like working together as a team to clear whatever obstacles you encounter? Like, is your deity giving you moral support, like when walking beside you? Which sounds more appealing in a god, goddess, deity? Being from another planet in a different galaxy, you know, some is exoticism, or a being from a distant time within your own culture. I know that is a tough one. Take your time. It could be different time in your own culture. The way it's worded, it seems like any time, like past, future. So just to get some clarification, would you prefer a chummy buddy kind of deity whose abilities you could easily match with some effort and discipline, or like some kind of larger than life deity? Okay. And that's all the questions for now. I think we've got quite a lot of information to work with here for your design. That's, concludes the preliminary questions. So let me just tell you how this works. I've got your preferences right here. So now I'm going to get to spend some time with them and see what I can come up with based on these specs. Let's see, like I said, business is really slow, so you should expect your mock-up will be ready within 2 to 3 days. And when I've got that basic design down, call you back in and you'll have a look, and we can make any adjustments that you might need before we send it out for production. How's that sound? Oh. And remind me when you come back in that we need to make some arrangements for your discipleship program. Okay, I'm going to make a note of that, but just in case I forget. Discipleship program. Okay, just in case I forget. Sounds satisfactory? Well, congrats. I think you can expect to get a very interesting deity. One who really matches your tastes and your needs. Well, I'll see you back in a few days. Oh, and if you could try to send at least one referral, I think I can work out a discount on the price. Oh, we'll discuss the price when you come back in. We need a special session for that. I'm assuming that your employer told you that we don't accept money. Excellent. So you know something about how our payment works here. But it'll all depend on the nature of your deity. We won't know that until we have a sense of who your deity is. Now run along. I'm itching to get to work on this design. We'll see you in a few days. That's when your life is really gonna change. So go now and find comfort in the fact that you'll soon meet the deity of your dreams. Oh, and no shoes until you're on the other side of that door. I'm watching you.